So I was reading an NBC article and they said that in a survey done by Lego, because apparently that's where NBC gets their data from, Lego, 1/3 of all kids between 8 and 12 years old want to be YouTubers. In today's video, we're gonna be looking at how much money a YouTube channel actually does or doesn't make, specifically one that started the year with 5,000 subscribers and ended the year with 10,000 subscribers, and more specifically a motovlog channel. I do motorcycle stuff. I'm Adrian from YouMotorcycle. I make videos for people who want to learn about all things related to motorcycling. I'm going to be breaking down what my channel made last year. We're going to be looking at it as dollars per hour because these videos do take some time. It takes me about 6 hours on average for video, and minimum wage where I live right now is around $11.37 US. We'll see how many months of the year I'm actually making more than minimum wage or less. In January, I made 136 bucks, over 43,000 views. I made 4 videos in January, so I made less than $6 per hour or half of minimum wage. But I'm not too worried about that just because I know every single year, January is always my worst month. Things will get better. February saw less views than January, but somehow I made more money, whatever that's about. I made 152 bucks, but I made 5 videos, so again, works out to less than half of minimum wage. I remember I spent so much time making this one video on the real first motorcycle ever because it doesn't get the credit it deserves. We give the credit to the wrong people, and I thought people are gonna blow their minds when they realize that we've been crediting the first motorcycle wrong this whole time, and nobody watched it, and the people who did watch it didn't care, and that's what being a YouTuber really is like in a nutshell. You think, boom, this is it, and nobody cares. And then other times you're just like, whatever, you put it out there and it explodes. And I don't know. March, views went up around 50% to 64,000, and I doubled my dollars to 313 bucks. I made 5 new videos, including one about a flashing brake light that honestly, I put one of these on every motorcycle and scooter that I take out. I honestly recommend you at least check out the video, if not also buy that little light bulb because it could potentially save you from being rear-ended. I believe in it, I'm buying into it myself, so there you go. April, I made 343 bucks, and I put out 4 videos and I made 14 bucks an hour. I think it was also my first time gaining over 500 new subscribers in a single month, which was a really amazing feeling. So thank you very much for that. I appreciate the heck out of you guys. Things kept going up in May. 84,000 views, 547 new subscribers, $405. And that month I put out a video on how to properly jumpstart a motorcycle from a car without damaging your motorcycle's electrical or wiring harness. If you are not 100% certain that you know how to do this without damaging your motorcycle or possibly damaging the motorcycle of the person you're trying to help, please take a minute and just review that video and it'll save you somewhere down the road. June, I got 83,000 views, 523 new subscribers, and I announced I was going on a 2,000 kilometer motorcycle road trip that I was super stoked for, but I would find out later nobody cared about. Oh man. I also put out a 20-minute monster review in June where I reviewed my Harley Davidson V-Rod Night Rod. In that 20 minutes, I listed, I think, 21 pros to the bike and 19 cons. And I wish that more reviews on YouTube were like that. Not to toot my own horn, but there's a lot of motorcycle reviews that are like 6 minutes and it's really fluffy. It's like, oh yeah, it looks nice. Oh yeah, the brakes are nice. And the motovloggers don't always give you a lot of detail, and they try to really make things kind of cutesy and not be like negative at all because they don't want to hurt anybody's feelings. And like, fuck that. You're gonna do the most benefit for people if you can find a way to deliver 40 points of knowledge in 20 minutes. People are gonna gain so much value from that video, and that video to this date has done ridiculously well. I wish more reviews were like that. Yeah. Anyway, July was very similar in views and subscriber growth, but I only made 386 bucks this time. I put out content for my trip that I was really excited to share, and I thought that was gonna be like a whole new chapter for the channel, and you guys pretty much told me that you didn't give a shit about that. So after 3 videos, I just said, screw it, nobody's watching these things, nobody cares, I'm gonna stop making those. It was supposed to be a 9-episode series. I stopped it at 3 because sometimes you just gotta listen to the people, man. So you guys voted with your views, and I respect that. By August, yeah, I gave up on my travel series, went back to my normal content, and as a result, my views, subscribers, and revenues all went back up, because when you stop doing what you want to do and you start doing what the people want, you get good results. 85,000 views, 573 new subscribers, $409. I made 2 videos, so the dollars per hour was actually quite good, and it's not that I didn't want to make the videos that I made. I wanted to be creative with the travel videos, and it wasn't working, so I made other videos I wanted to make instead. All good. September, things started going down, 75,000 views, 425 new subscribers, only 366 bucks, and I made 3 videos. October, another 70,000 views, 393 subscribers, $343, and I made 2 videos. By November, things had really fallen though. 58,000 views, 337 new subs, and 298 bucks. 2 videos. One of them was another really in-depth review. This time was on my 2010 Vespa S150. You can have like one of these things for like $1,000 US. If you're considering adding a second bike or maybe a bike that potentially, you know, a little shorty can ride on with you, check out that video because these little Vespas, they can do maybe a lot more than what you thought, and they're super simple, and I like mine a lot. December was even worse in pretty much every which way except for one, which is I only made one video in December, so technically this was my best dollars per hour month of the year, I think. I didn't really try that hard because I knew December everyone's on holidays, everyone's got enough stuff running around to do, and I just didn't want to deal with all that. And I guess now we just got to talk about what my totals were for the year. In 2022, I got 5,000 new subscribers compared to 2,700 in 2021. So I saw like an 85% increase, which is amazing and awesome. 817,000 views compared to 472. So I was up 73%, $3,800 strictly from YouTube. I'll explain in a second. Versus $2,100 from YouTube the year before. Now that's not my total income. If you watch some of my oil change videos, I'll say, you know, here's the oil I use, here's the filter I use, here's the torque wrench I use, here's the oil filter wrench I used. If you buy any of that stuff, I get a 4% commission off of whatever you buy from Amazon through my links. This does add up to a few $1,000s at the end of the year. The problem is I don't know how much that comes from YouTube or how much that comes from my website, YouMotorcycle.com, because I put the same affiliate links on YouMotorcycle.com as I do on YouTube. And when people buy stuff, I don't know if they're buying because they came from YouMotorcycle or if they're buying because they came from youtube.com/YouMotorcycle. There are a bunch of costs that I haven't talked about either. So for example, the camera I'm talking to you on and the microphone, that's like $500 right there. I also have my GoPro, which is another couple $100. The lights, tripods, memory cards, all that stuff, it all adds up. What I really want to know, and this is the part where I want to ask you guys. So yeah, like I did make $3,800 for the year, but when I did the math on that, 234 hours of work. If you have a 40-hour work week, is 6 weeks of full-time work to make about $3,800 US. So my question is to you, if your boss said to you, you don't have any more of your normal responsibilities, you're also not gonna get your salary. For the next 6 weeks, you're gonna just make YouTube videos, and before you go back to your normal job and your normal pay, I'm just gonna write you a check for $3,800. Would you take 6 weeks of working for $3,800, or would you be like, no, I actually need to make a living and put more serious money on the table? Please let me know in the comments what you guys think just about YouTubing, motovlogging, making content, whether it pays you or not. I'd love to hear what your thoughts are. Again, my name is Adrian. I make videos for people who want to learn about all things motorcycle. If you're into that, hit the subscribe button. Thank you so much for watching. As always, ride safe, but have fun. Peace.